Hi, friends. I made a post this morning about my new little control panel. Let's see if I can get it in the frame here. It's right here. Um, that is basically the basis. It's just kind of a starting point, actually, for what I ultimately want to do with my bus. And you all were super excited about it, and that's probably one of my most popular posts so far that I've made in a while. And I kind of wanted to take this time because it's been a while since I talked about my bus. I've been like just kind of heads down making it into my home, and I guess I could like show you around a little bit and maybe give you all an updated tour of what's going on, because like currently she doesn't move. I am in the middle of rebuilding the transmission, which is a huge job and kind of nerve-wracking. But I did want to maybe start with, why is everything so bloomy? Is that better? Hold on, I need to wipe this down. Fucking gross camera. Is that better? Oh, yes, much better. Okay, so this is my updated electrical panel. It is an absolute fucking mess right now. Originally, it was just this and these things on the sheet metal that used to cover this. And what I wanted to do was recess it into this cavity here, this bulkhead area. And I noticed that this just piece of sheet metal would come off, and I'm eventually going to make like maybe like a piece that kind of folds up and like sticks up here so I can access everything, and then the more important stuff can live on the outside, like maybe a display and stuff. I have this little display for my that actually is built for my new charge controller right here. So this is a Victron energy charge controller. It's a 15 amp charge controller, meaning that I can do 15 amps in from solar up to 75 volts, and then also 15 amps out to the battery, and then also it has 15 amp load control. And the main issue I've had with this thing is the load control MOSFETs are questionable at best. And I thought the built-in Bluetooth functionality was going to be like really nice, and it was when I had this set up in my van before I got the bus. Excuse me. It was nice because I didn't really have to I could pull it up on my phone and see some history, and it was super super simple. But like, I'm kind of a data nerd, and I wanted to see, like, once I got into it, like the data was just not set up the way that I wanted it to be set up. And I wanted to see more graphs, and it would only really show me like an overview of my day. This doesn't actually even have a real-time clock built into it, so it literally counts days when the panels go below like 5 volts or something like that. So like when it's dark out, it counts a new day. So if I like go and manage it, like if I have to shut everything down to like do some maintenance or something, that's a day. So it's kind of weird. I think this might have some similar logic to it in some of its more longer term storage, because it does have like how much you generated today measurement, how much you used today. But this thing is 40 amps. So this thing is currently, I believe, I'm not going to do the math right now, but I have a 24 volt battery system, and I have two 325 watt panels in parallel running at about 33-ish volts, 34-ish volts at maximum power point tracking. So it's getting up there. It's like 35 amps or something, 35 amps if I were to max that out under best case scenarios. Um, but is also like we're at like getting towards the shortest day of the year, and I am parked in probably the worst spot ever. I did make a kilowatt hour today, I believe. I think I'm at 880 watt hours, and it's 4 o'clock, 4:20, nice, and we're at like 10 watts right now. So that's pretty much the end of the day right there. And I've got another until like 6 in the morning to use, either break even on that, or more than likely go lower than that, because I usually run my diesel heater. But yeah, this is going to be cleaned up a lot more. Having done this so far, I'm kind of understanding what I actually need to do with my electrical system. I have this branched out into a 24 volt block and a 12 volt block right here. This is the linear regulator, or power regulator, switching power regulator to 12 volts here. And I'm realizing that I should probably be transporting all of my electricity to the different areas in the bus via 24 volts, and then have master breakers here. So my ultimate goal is I've been really getting into DIN rail mounting lately, and I really want like a DIN rail here and a DIN rail there, so then I can make like a DIN rail holder for my Raspberry Pi, and then that can just live there next to like maybe like a hard drive for it, and like whatever needs to go in there, and then all of my breakers for my different branch circuits. So like, yeah, I'll still have 12 volts in here, but it's not going to be 12 volts that I'm then branching out to different areas, because then it just gets confusing. And I might as well just do my, like, if I need 12 volts at the desk, I can have a 12 volt converter over at the desk. But I'm not even doing 12 volts over at the desk right now. I have 19 volts I have 19 volts for my monitor. So this is my monitor that I run. And then I have like a bunch of 5 volt stuff. So my speaker bar here is 5 volts. My HDMI switch is 5 volts. And my little Android TV box is 5 volts. I'm probably need some 12 volts to run these hard drives at some point, but these aren't going to be permanent. This is just me bringing these in here so I can test them. So then ultimately I can just take that 19 volts from here and put it into my power supply. This thing is a variable power supply that I use to do my electronics projects. And then I can just make a cable to run these temporarily. And everything's fine. I do have 12 volts over here, but that makes sense, right? Because like I have my fridge here that runs on 12 volts, and I have my cigarette lighters down here for like my chargers and stuff. And yeah, I could instead just run a single branch 24 volts over to this corner right here and convert it as necessary. So I was thinking we'd have like the bedroom 12 volts. The two bulkheads would probably have their own branch for like internal components and stuff, and that would be a branch. The kitchen would get a branch. The desk would get a branch. And the rear bulkhead area would get a branch too. That would also share with the bathroom. And yeah, it's coming together. and that's a longer term project. Just like sort of my vision for how everything is going to work in here, um, and just general power distribution stuff. Like I built this with what I had, and especially with the DIN rail stuff, I'm really getting bored with like all of these fuse blocks are like screw terminals. They're so I have to crimp either like forks or rings to each one, and I have gone through so many fork connectors, and um, it's and it's just like it's such a chore every time I have to connect something to it. I have to make a new crimp. So like a lot of the DIN rail stuff, is just screw compression terminals. So like you just put bare wire in them and then you screw it down and you're good to go. It's the way both of these work too. So these are just big chunky terminals, and you just strip the wire and you put it in. And if you want to get fancy, you can put a ferrule on it if you want to. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And the piece de resistance is that like eventually I get uh, smart devices. So like what I want to do is put most of my smart devices on a Zigbee system. I have a little dongle for the Raspberry Pi, and it's already working. I had to reboot the Pi a few times because like reinstall the operating system with Home Assistant. So Raspberry Pi officially launched USB boot support for the Raspberry Pi, and I got a new USB drive, and it was running great with just Raspberry Pi OS, and but I put Home Assistant operating system on it, and it didn't want to do anything. It just didn't want to do it. So eventually, I had to just boot Raspberry Pi OS and then install it from the command line, which was like not a huge deal. Although I do remember a few years ago doing it that way. Limited your options, but not so much anymore. It was actually like super straightforward, and I haven't run into any issues, and it is blazing fast right now. And you can see, like, I have all of my, at least for now, just some of my data on here. I haven't switched over the load control from the Victron to the EPEver yet, so I'm not getting any data on like what I'm using in here yet at the moment. That was another thing with the Victron, is that more recently it's been having trouble with its ammeter, its shunt. So it wasn't like reading anything, it would just be 0, and I'd be like have all my shit on, have my TV on, and my fridge would be in its cycle, and it's like, oh no, you're not pulling any current at all. So I'm hoping that the readout from the EPEver is going to be a lot more accurate, and I can start like processing that data a little bit more. I'm actually loathing having to disconnect everything because I'm not too sure about how volatile that data is right now. Because Home Assistant isn't really meant for like storing the data that you have. You're really supposed to like put all that into a database and then call it from the database. Which I want to do anyways, but like the charts are so pretty. They're so pretty. Like I can see, like for the first time ever, I can actually see like what solar I created today and like see the peak of like 220 volts today, and how the curve of that looks, and then how that compares visually to the like the ramp down from using my battery last night until this morning, until it starts curving back up in this nice like slow ramp up. And I'm not gonna be charging my batteries now. I'm at 27.4 right now. I'll probably end up might end up putting it on the shore power. I just have a little like 100-watt battery charger that I plug in where I'm staying right now, and it's good. Yeah, so you know, uh, I'm just gonna start playing with some of that data and then get into like the smart home stuff, the Zigbee stuff, and then I can like switch my lights on, send some of that information to like Google Assistant, and do voice control. I want to play around maybe with local voice control. I don't want to go out to the cloud too much. But I am gonna want to at some point at least have a connection to my phone, so I'll have to punch out of my network a little bit to get that data going. But yeah, I'm super stoked. Currently, my like only major project that I have to do is my aside from rebuilding my transmission. Mind you, I've never even dropped a transmission in my life before. Like, this is the first time I've ever done like any work on a transmission, and I'm going gung ho and rebuilding the fucker. So, other than that, major project is I need to reseal this thing. It's been raining out, and I currently have a trash bag over it on the outside, magneted down. It was bad. It was bad the other day, and yeah, I'm gonna have to get up there and reseal that somehow. And then the next fun project is that I always get mixed up when I'm back there. No, not the pink unboosted board. This door right here is where the wheelchair lift used to live when this was a school bus. And I'm going to put the side hinges on the bottom. I'm going to put a winch up here, and I need to frame out this door a little bit more and cover it with new sheet metal, and it is going to be a ramp. So my vision is having a garage door controller. Actually, my first Zigbee device is this little key fob. These 4 buttons can do basically whatever I want them to, and I could press a button on this and the ramp the ramp unlocks. Excuse me. Drawbridge is down. I drive my motorcycle in here, dismount in my living room, put my helmet up, and then just sit down, and then it closes back up by itself. mind you, it seems extravagant. It definitely seems extravagant. But I've weighed some options here. That project is going to end up being about the same price as it would for me to buy a set of motorcycle ramps for my bus. Maybe a little bit more. But then I'd also have to stow motorcycle ramps, right? And I'm limited on space, so like my ramp is just the door, and then like it's also a sick fucking side entrance for like when I'm chilling in the woods and shit. Like during the summer, hell yeah, that and this door. Oh yeah, the door's gonna get automated too. Um, the door, I have a little NFC ring right here, and I'm gonna make it so I can boop the door, and it goes, it just pops open. I'm outside. I want to leave. Boop it again, it closes. Or I could just do this boy over Zigbee. So yeah, that is the current state of my bus. Um, I did not sleep last night. This was too exciting. Also, I'm on a really awful. I've been going to sleep at like 5 the past few nights, anyways. And today was my reset, so I'm running on zero sleep, and I'm probably could use another cup of coffee. Um, so I think I might do that. I don't think there's really much else here. I just need to clean up all this shit. At some point, there's actually another video buried down there somewhere. I am so hoping that I can do more videos, less bloggy style videos, but I am working on some more like well produced videos, um, and I'm hoping that can be some of what I do next year. The pandemic kind of shook things up for me a little bit. I had to drop my art studio, and then I found this bus, and this bus has become my major project, and I'm super lucky that I was able to get unemployment from COVID and or PUA unemployment assistance and build this into my home, because like it just feels good. Like a lot of this is very prototype right now, and I really want to be able to show y'all like the vision that I have for what this can be and what this like will be over the next year, 2 years. But like for now, I'm really just like getting the basics in, and kind of definitely throwing some flair in there too, but like a lot of this is very very prototype. Like my desk is the desk that I've had for years now. It is a standing desk, but like I've been trying to sit down and modify the power supply for the past 6 months, and I just haven't gotten there yet. um and then I have brainings on how to redo the desktop, because like that's gonna be so good once that's done. And then the cabinets too, I want to do. This was just like the $99 Home Depot special, and there's so much wasted space in here that like I'm gonna pop up CAD and like start designing stuff, and see how I can optimize this space from here to like the back of the seat. Like even this has probably got to go too, and then manage this area, because my batteries also live under here, my propane tank lives under here, and my water tank lives under here, and like those three things don't really mix very well, and I kind of want them to not live together anymore, but it's kind of my only option right now. And space, like this like top area, like from like here up, is like not used at all for anything, and it needs to be used for stuff. Like I live in like 100 square feet, and that's like my kitchen, my bedroom, my desk office, my living room, my bathroom, my garage. And like, oh yeah, this back corner is also going to be a shower at some point. I'm going to build, that's like way future project. Uh, I'm getting way ahead of myself. I've already been talking for 25 minutes now, and it's starting to get dark, and I can tell because the picture quality is starting to dwindle quite a bit as my Pixel phone is struggling to gather light. So this is the state of my bus right now, and I love her. I love Gary Bussey um, so much, and I'm really looking to stay in her long term. So stay with me because I really want to share the things that I'm doing and give like a different take on how to like optimize spaces like this. Like this is literally all, like most of the time all I think about is like how do I lay this out and make it like comfortable and livable and long term and make it not only make it like livable but make it like kind of posh, kind of luxurious. So um yeah, and keep following me on Instagram if you're my friend on Facebook, sweet. And um I will see you later. I think. Yeah, probably. That's literally what I've just been saying. Bye.